Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the REDX Podcast. I'm so glad that you're here. Today, we have a very special guest. He's returning with us. If you've seen him before, this is Andrew Vose. Welcome, Andrew.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be back. I felt like you guys were trying to retire me or something, but now it's like I came out of retirement. I'm like Ric Flair. So,
yeah, let's go. We're back, baby.
Go.
Yeah, we're excited to have you back. I remember our conversation last time was awesome, so I'm excited to get into more stuff today. But before we do, I just want to talk to the audience that are tuning in live. If you are tuning in live with us, feel free to chat in. Let us know where you're watching from. If you have any questions for Andrew as we're talking today, feel free to chat them in. I'll get those asked, make sure that we can get those answered. But also, if you want to get updates for the podcast, you can always go to redx.com/podcast. Put your email in and we'll email you all the updates and all the good things for every episode. And that's it for that stuff. Andrew, tell people who don't know who you are. Could you give us like a little brief introduction?
Yeah. So I originally grew up in New York, joined the Army in 2007. I did that for 10 years. I was part of the special operations community, did a lot of cool stuff. Hopefully made an impact somewhere in the world. Got out. I was living in Florida at the time, and I could not find a job that correlates to my military stuff. So the closest one was North Carolina, and then Colorado, and then, of course, overseas contracting. So found my way out in Colorado. I'd only been there one other time. Didn't realize it snowed in Colorado. I'm just kidding.
Oof.
I did. Yeah. But I had only been there in the summer, right? So I get out there. And I'm working my government job for about a year, and I'm just bored. It's the same thing. They're just paying me. Basically, I'm a slave to the paycheck. They're just paying me more to stay there and keep happy. Now, I did have a really good government job. I worked about 4 hours a week. They paid me $100,000 a year. Great. However, I wasn't fulfilled. So what I did is I started getting into real estate, and one of my mentors told me a long time ago, man, you have charisma, you'll crush it. I'm like, it's real estate's not really for me, but I found myself curious because I saw that he left his brick and mortar brokerage and went to this virtual one. And I'm like, what's going on here? Right. So, and he was top Remax agent, and he left, and I was like, okay, that I'm curious. Tell me why, Jay. So, and I was like, I'm still not getting my real estate license, but this is the freaking cool company, right? And that's EXP. And I was like, okay, so if I come in, I'm going to join with you, Jay, because I like the company and I want you as a mentor. So I finally broke it. I got my real estate license. It took a 168-hour course in 7 days. Don't tell me how I did it. I didn't, but I just knew I had to get my real estate license. I knew that it was the person that could hustle the most was going to make the most. The person that could get to the closing table the most was going to make the most money, right? Create the most relationships and go to the closing table the most. You make the most money. Relationships, closing table, money, right? Like that's how it goes. And I was like, okay. So market I'm not from, sold like 22 houses first year, 67 the second year, 178 third year, and 319 the fourth year. And then I think like everybody's year, last year was down, and we were actually down about 50%. Now this is when I had a team. No longer. I'm back to solo agent. If any of my former team members are watching, I love you. It's my story. So we've done I think the math comes out to be over the last 5 years, like 750 homes or people served. That's my story.
Awesome. Cool. Well, you've been here for a little bit, and we were talking a little bit pre-show, just kind of about the market, about how agents are kind of struggling right now, right? And
Yep.
I've heard it a lot. I've seen it in Facebook groups, and we talk to agents all the time that are just kind of struggling to get listings. And it's just, I don't know. I want to ask you like what you think that is, why is that happening, and why agents are struggling so much to be successful.
Well, you and I were having a conversation prior to this. It's because they're scared, right?
Yeah.
The 1,000-pound weight, right? Multiple things I would correlate that to, right? Now, systems, right? the people that all the top people in the world, in any profession they're at, any profession, they have a system, because people fail, systems don't. Okay.
Amen.
When you got to set up your system, you have to, whatever that is, your CRM, your automation, how are you doing stuff? And systems doesn't just have to be this technology thing. It can be a process. What process am I going to go through every time? So like, I was actually just sitting in a training prior to this, so I'm going to regurgitate some of the stuff I learned in that training. And
Yes.
I'm so glad we got to come here, and I'm here with you, Haley. But I was bummed I had to leave that training early because it was getting good. And one of the things that they were talking about is an exit listing special or something. You just let people out of the listing at no cost, no anything. It's just like your reassurance to them. And then there was another very interesting fact that they threw out, and I knew the fact, but it never comes to my mind, is the biggest problem with realtors is they suck at communication. They suck. Everybody that's listening to this probably done a deal with a realtor that you're like, damn, this guy or lady do not answer their phone. Do not know how they sell homes, right? Like, or you say to yourself, like, man, if I was listing this home, I would do this. And one of the things is communicate better. So when you are going to listing appointments, and I'm going to get how to get to the listing appointment, but when you're at the listing appointment, start by giving them a communication guarantee. I think this is a great idea. And every time you don't communicate with them, you're going to guarantee you're going to communicate with them at least one time a week to update them on status. If you don't, you lose $100, and it never stops for the time of the listing. So I thought that was a very, very cool method. I'm going to be using that.
That is cool.
But how do you get the listings? And we all know that listings are king. They always will be. They always are. As you can see, we've gotten a lot of buyer agency, NAR, commission bull crap, right? And it's only going to keep compressing. It's not a scare tactic. I think it is real. I think it may not play out like the media is playing it out, but it is real. There is a reason why it's happening, right? So as they're trying to compress commissions, it's only going to get harder and harder, but listings are always going to be king, because you have one listing, you should be able to get one more listing, one more buyer, right? Which just keeps feeding the pipeline. I always say that, like, buyers pay the bills, listings build the career. So yeah, that's my I'll just let you ask the next question and lead me there, or I'll just probably just keep talking. But
no, it's great. I want to hear ways that ways that agents can get listings. So some activities to focus on, and especially right now, what's working for you?
Yeah. So I'm at LPT Realty now, and we have this thing called the Listing Power Toolbox, and anybody can build something similar to this, right? So this specific thing is proprietary to us, but it's not like rocket science, right? But you get this box on every listing, and it comes with 188 items. It comes with open house thank you cards, rider for your sign that comes with text capture technology. It comes with neighborhood stats for your open houses. It comes with door hangers. It comes with referral cards to give your seller, to get them you're creating a referral machine with your seller, because your seller wants to sell their house just as bad as you do, right? Like, don't think that they don't, right? They obviously put it on the market, signed those 20 plus pages of documents. Nobody goes through that just wing it, like, so you're getting them involved in the process. And well, let me just, I know we got to get to getting the listings, but 188 pieces of items, say you had 10 listings a month, that's 1,880 new potential relationships, new potential impressions, however you want to create it that's contacts that you can be creating by just passing out. So we have a term called empty the box, right? So I think getting out there and beating the streets and doing the open houses and farming with a dialer, right? So as you're doing open houses, as you're passing out these items, whatever the items are, you can go print your own about me flyers. Like, a lot of people, whenever whenever I see it, and I don't know if it makes other realtors feel this way, but whenever I see a for sale sign next to me, that next to my house, that's not me, I'm like, damn, I didn't do enough.
Yep.
Damn, how do they not want to list with me? And it's because I didn't provide enough value that they didn't think to call me. Right? It's not that they maliciously, maybe they don't like you, but 9 times out of 10 they didn't even think about you.
Yep.
So in order to be thought about, you have to pick 2 or 3 neighborhoods to farm with your dialer, with your about me letters, with your door hangers, with your open houses. If you don't have open houses in your neighborhood, go find a listing agent that will let you do an open house at theirs, and market the crap out of it like it's yours. I mean, get permission, obviously, but like it should take ownership of your neighborhoods, of your 2 to 3 farming areas. So I think what's really worked with us is we're back to open houses. So
Yeah.
I had this listing that just went live. It's in Destin, Florida, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. If you guys are out in Destin, please come check it out. It's on WinStar, and bring us an offer. But anyway, so I did 3 open houses the first week. We had 7 groups through in that area. It's 99 days on market, average days on market. So think about this. If I don't help speed up the process with consistent open houses, door knocking, asking neighbors for referrals, phone calls, right? Like farm these areas, call other agents, get them in through the house. If I'm not actively doing it, then I'm just picking up listings and I'm just wasting people's time. So I think if you do those daily activities over and over and over again, and I do have a little bit of a system I'd like to share, Haley, if you don't mind.
Of course.
I got this from one of the best real estate coaches on the planet. I think he's like one of the top team coaches right now, John Sheplack, and he's just really, really good. Okay. And sometimes the message doesn't get through because of the messenger, but he's a great messenger of his message. Right. And so I drive 4 hours to go to his training. I got invited. It was free. I was like, of course I'll go. It's 4 hours away. Right. And since we've been implementing this, it's automatically just triggered a system for us. Right. So I'll just label it this: 2024 goals and accountability. Okay. Everything's got to start with your why. What hurts you the most? What's going to drive you every day to move the needle 1% more to get there, right? Can't talk about what your why is. I don't even know who's watching. But if your why is you got to start there. And what's the minimum daily or standard activity that will move the needle every day? Is that 50 phone calls? Is that logging your calls, keeping notes? Is that passing out flyers? Is that door hangers? Is that 52 open houses a year? That's 1 open house a week. What is going to move the needle every day? Just a little bit, because progress, right, doesn't have to be a 10% increase. I think I talked about it on here, either with you guys or with Tristan Almeida, that people think this progress stuff, like the reason why people's businesses have so much ebb and flow is because they've created the ebb and flow by their stop, go, rather than just go, right? Like at a slower pace and steady, right? And I experienced this in my business. I am not above anybody. I am creating this as I go with you guys, right? Like I've only been doing this 5 years. There's agents that have took them 15 years to figure it out. So I think we're all on the right journey and path, right? We just have to get through winter, because there is 4 seasons. I'm not talking about weather here. I'm talking about in business, right? If anybody follows Tony Robbins, they talk about the 4 seasons. Well, right now, with everything going on with the economy, with the attack on buyer agent commissions, there is a winter here. And you just have to figure out how to make it through it, because there is a summer out there. You are going to get. So, sorry, I kind of got on my soapbox a little bit.
I love it.
But yeah. So what's going to move the standard? Like, what's the standard that's going to move the needle every day? And I think it really starts with the trackable activity in your CRM, in your REDX dialer. Everything needs to be trackable. If you do not track it, it never happened. If I like this old saying, I think you and I can appreciate it. If you weren't official with your boyfriend or girlfriend on Facebook, never happened. It was not a thing. It just was not. So people need to get in that mentality that you need to consciously track everything. It needs to become an obsession. If it's not an obsession, because it won't continue. You won't create that daily discipline. So what are we tracking? We're tracking our calls, our texts, our emails. It's non-negotiable. Daily activity documented. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? And then every day you just have to wake up and say, I'm going to win today. And what's a win for me today? Is it setting a listing appointment? Because if I look at majority of our calendars, I barely have any blank spots on my calendars with real estate and my other businesses I have. That I can see the needle moving every day because something is transpiring, like from those phone calls or from those meetings or those Zooms, like we're just moving in a direction, right? So you got to figure out what's your execution, right? And this is what I would say do, okay? I would say a good starting point should be 50 calls a day through REDX and whatever CRM you use. So you should be taking your database and you should be putting them in some type of CRM. They have to be in a CRM. If they are in your phone or on an Excel spreadsheet, you realtors that have been in the industry for 40 years, figure out the CRM, right? And I appreciate you guys because you guys paved the way for us and set the standard. So I'm picking, but I'm not ungrateful. So in the 50 calls a day, just pick 4 days a week to do it. Do not burn yourself out over it. There's going to be some people that are preaching, do this. Listen, do what you can manage, what you can handle, what you can track. And I would do one open house a week. If you're going on vacation, well, guess what? You're going to have to make that open house up. You're going to be 2 and 2 open houses a week. And honestly, I would give you Sundays off. I would make it a conscious effort. If you believe in God, go to church, spend time with your family, eat your food, and just relax and decompress and look at your calendar at the end of the night and see how you're going to stack it for the upcoming week. Because if you do not do that, you're going to burn yourself out. I remember there was a point in my career, and I say that like I've been doing this forever, but early on in my career, about halfway through, I was so burned out. I did not want to be in real estate anymore.
Yeah.
It was not that I wasn't passionate about it or it wasn't fun. Is that I was overworking myself. There was all gas, no brakes. And everybody in business knows it's really, really hard to get momentum back when you don't have it. So I'm not saying lose momentum. I'm saying give yourself a break. You deserve it, right? Yeah. Like, now, if you take 2, 3, 4 days, you didn't earn that crap. So you better get that ego on, right? You didn't earn it, right? Like you only earned a day, and that's Sunday, right? Now, if you have to show houses on Sunday because you're a client or you have a listing appointment, then yes, I got it. But it should be blocked off, right? Yeah. And then this is going to be crazy because we've all been taught in sales that people buy after 5 to 7 touches. Well, I would challenge you to touch people, text, calls, emails, whatever, your weekly newsletter, your REDX calls, whatever. You need to touch them 25 times. You need to figure out how to be getting in front of them on social media. You need to be figuring out texts, anniversaries, all that stuff. It needs to be conscious. They need to be the first thought in your head. And then, okay, there's 4 weeks in a month, so this is going to be easy. You only have to record 1 video a week, and these videos are going to be as follows. So you're going to do a market snapshot week 1. What's the market doing? What's it been doing? Community events, week 2. What's happening in the community? How can you How can you get involved? What are you already involved in? Show people you are a real person. That's why when I see people and their social media is and I think it's becoming less and less thing, but I still see people, their social media is private and they're in some type of sales industry. I'm like, dude, I would never buy off you because this is the first thing I'm doing. I am looking you up. If we're having a meeting, I'm going to LinkedIn, I'm going to Instagram, I'm going to Facebook, I'm going everywhere to look you up. I'll even go to Google if I think you're big enough, right? Because I want to know as much about you going into this meeting. But if you're on private, I'm like, we're not even on the same level, right? Like, and I don't mean that negatively. I'm just saying, like, all the people that I look up to or mentors to me, they're all public because they're trying to share. Successful people want to share what they got. Mm-hmm. It's not always free. There's going to be a point in time where they're going to saying, hey, pull out your checkbook or credit card. But for the most part, 50% of what they do is public and they're sharing it and they're just providing value in some form of direction. So, or some form of way. So community events, show the world that you are a real person, that you know what's going on in the community. You're a community expert, thought leader. This is going to be really hard for some people to be positive because of the world. No, I'm serious. Like
no, it's true.
The world can, like, I try not to watch media or media. I try not to. Because what you feed your brain is what's going to eventually come out. If you feed your brain with like crap, you're going to have crap. But if you're like going to church, listening to good music, listening to books, whatever your thing is, it just needs to be positive. And everybody knows right from wrong and what's positive and what's not. So where I was going, week 3, you are going to be a thought leader. You're going to post something inspirational that has happened in your life or that you can provide value on. And it could be something like, I don't know, you're on your daily walk and you're like, man, I just want to tell everybody how I'm feeling right now because I'm working out. I'm getting some vitamin D. I'm like outside. It's just inspiring people, right? And you'll be surprised what that thought is when they're looking on social media and they see you out on a walk. And then all of a sudden their brain is like, shoot, dude, get outside, go on a walk, right? Like you're inspiring people and you don't even realize it. And it doesn't matter if you have 1 follower or 100,000, you're still an inspiration to somebody, right? Like, so freaking post it. And then local business recognition for week 4. So this is you getting out. I'm a big foodie. I'm a big beer guy. I've cut back on the beer, but I just love trying new beer. And I love food. Like, this is what my wife got me for Valentine's Day. She knows I'm a Panda Express fanatic. Here's why I love Panda Express. And then I'll go back to the restaurant. Panda Express. It's cheap, tons of protein, and it's not terrible for you. And it's good. I mean, the fried rice probably ain't the best, but you get brown rice but I'm just telling you. So anyway, so get out there. So you
that was like a free ad for Panda Express.
Yeah, but think about those 4 videos. Those 4 videos, 3 of them are making you a market expert. You know your community, you know what's happening, you're telling them about the real estate market. And if I ever saw anybody say, oh, those are stupid videos that people are posting about market updates and snapshots, I'd be like, dude, you're an idiot. They're doing the right daily activities to do it. Stop being a damn hater. And I don't care if you have this level of success or no success at all. You just need to focus on you. But if you're posting those videos already or some type of form or fashion, good on you. Because those are the daily activities and weekly activities that I think move the needle. And then time study. Everybody needs to do a time study on their life. And so you have 168 hours a week. Okay. Because people tell me they don't got time. And then when you go to their phone and you look at the screen time, they're on that damn thing like 7 to 8 hours. And then you go look at the app and it's Instagram for 2. Like, what did you do on Instagram for 2 hours? Like my max, I even have a shut off on that thing for 45 minutes. Right? because I'll find myself like, so if you don't have,
dark hole.
Yeah, it's a dark hole. So everybody just needs to do a time study. And sorry, Haley, if I'm over talking or whatever, but
oh no, you're doing great.
You need to take accountability and stop saying everybody gets the same 24 hours a day. It's how you chop it up. Ed Millett's new book, One More. It's a great book. You should read. Everybody should read it. But it talks about breaking his time down, taking his 24-hour day and actually turning it into 3 days, and how he does it, and he time blocks, and he's very intentional. A lot of people aren't intentional with what they're doing. They're just fluid through life. They have no guidance or sense of like urgency, intent, purpose. So like, I think the time will help you realize you do have the time to crush this, right? And when you look at a transaction on real estate, it does not take you more than 4 hours a month for 30-day closing to get done with a transaction. 4 hours max. That's time on the phone. That's driving. There is no reason it should take more than 4 hours. So think about how many other things you could be doing with your time. And so how many hours do you sleep? What's your gym time? Getting your kids ready? How many hours can you work? That is the key one, right? And nobody's saying work 24/7, take away from your sleep or take away from your gym time, because sleep and gym are health, right? If you're spiritual, nobody's saying take away from church or Bible or whatever. And nobody's saying take away from your kids, but there is going to be a season, and you need to figure out what season you want to be in or you're already in. And you just need to have a conversation with your friends and family and say, hey guys, you ain't going to see me for the next month because I'm in grind mode. Right? Like, and then how many hours can you work? And I always put a bunch of asterisks by that, because those are the key things that I think if people systemize those things that I just went through and made a purpose or had intent by them, I think that would move the needle a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Rosemary asked, what was the 4th week?
Yeah. So I'll go through the 4 weeks again. So the first week is market snapshot. Second week is community events. Third week is thought leader / inspirational. And the 4th week is local business recognition.
Perfect. I think that's awesome. And I think what you're talking about, we're almost out of time here, which is crazy, but
I talk a lot. So.
No, it's great. It went by fast. But like all the things that you're talking about, I love that you talked about burnout and being careful to not burn yourself out, but also to not like go up and down and like stop and start and stop and start. Yeah. There's like a middle ground of working hard, but not burning yourself out and not stopping what you're doing. And as long as you focus on these activities and you're consistent with them, I think the consistency is the hardest part, right? And once you're consistent, then your business can be predictable. It can be consistent. Because I think the reason why people leave real estate is just the feast and famine, the financial feast and famine of just, I can't pay for anything this month, but the next month it's a lot to handle. But I love that. I love all the things that you shared. This is awesome. The past like 30 minutes, but
yeah, sorry, it kind of went by quick. So.
No, what was great is you shared a system that people can actually replicate, because we can sit here all day and say a bunch of stuff that you need to do. But if you don't have an actual system with actual steps to implement, then no one's going to do anything. And they wasted 30 minutes listening to this, right? Yes. So I really appreciate you bringing up tactical things that people can change. Yeah. So thanks, Andrew, for coming on the podcast to talk again. This has been awesome. Is there anything, last words you want to leave our audience with today?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, I will reply. It may take me a minute, or it may go to the general inbox or whatever. So it may just take me a minute. But if you want that system that I just spit out, I will share it with you. There's no strings attached, no cost. There's nothing. It just, I can't charge anybody for something I got for free. Right. So I just want to pass it forward, and anything I can do to help anybody, I'm always here. So
You're the best. Awesome. We'll share all of his social media and things below so that people can easily find you. But I think that's it for this week. Thank you so much for everyone to coming and listening every single week, and for Andrew coming and sharing your expertise. This has been awesome. We'll have to have you back a lot sooner than a year.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we can talk more about all of the stuff that we're talking about. But thanks again, everybody. We will see everybody here, same place, same place, same time. There we go. That's what it is. Thanks, everyone. See you later.